Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're out here in the barnyard again with Arwen, and it's very sunny today, very nice day. But I wanted to start talking about feeding your goat, because a lot of people have asked questions about feeding your goat. However, I can't really talk about how to feed your goat until I kind of explain how a goat's digestion is kind of different. They're not like us. They're not like dogs or cats or horses. They're more like sheep and cattle and deer in that, like a horse, like Shadowfax here. Hi, big nose, big pony nose. But he has one chamber in his stomach. He is simple stomached, one chamber. Okay, that's it. He's just got one chamber. Tequila, stop licking the goat. But he just has one chamber. So does Tequila. So do humans. Goats and sheep and cattle and, all those beautiful creatures, they actually have a four-chambered stomach. Okay? They very much have a four-chambered stomach. Each of those chambers has a specific job. So they have the rumen, the reticulum, the omasum, and the abomasum. And each of these has its very own job. And when you're a baby, so a baby goat, little tiny baby goats, there goes Shadowfax. So a little tiny baby goat, only their abomasum is functional. Okay, that's it. That's why they have to raise their heads to nurse, because when they raise their heads to nurse, Arwen just is sunning herself. She's fine, by the way. She's just sunning herself. But when a baby goat raises his head to nurse, he closes the esophageal groove. So when they raise their head up, that esophageal groove closes, and it directs the milk right into the abomasum. Babies have to nurse in this position because when they're born, their rumen and their reticulum and their omasum are not functional. Only their abomasum is working. So they need that milk to go directly to the abomasum. However, as babies nurse and nibble and do goat stuff, their rumen starts to wake up. Around 3 to 6 weeks old, their entire digestive system is more like an adult goat, less like a baby goat. So the rumen wakes up, the rumen wakes up the reticulum, and the reticulum kind of triggers the omasum to do its thing, and the abomasum is already functional. So by the time they're 6 weeks old, that's why some breeders wean at 6 weeks, because technically you can, even though it's better for the goat if they're with their mom a little bit longer. You can technically wean at 6 weeks because their digestive system's fully developed. The rumen is the largest and the one you're going to be the most concerned with. It's the first chamber of the stomach, and it's on the left side. So her rumen is on this side here. Okay, she's laying on her right side. This is her left side facing us. That is the side her rumen is going to be on. Okay? So remember, left side lunch. That's where the rumen is. Left side lunch. Right side would be Rugrats, but she's not pregnant, so there's no Rugrats to be had. But yes, left side is where that rumen is. Okay? It has no digestive enzymes in it. It's basically a fermentation chamber. So the food goes down there and it starts to ferment. This is where all those healthy microbes live. If those microbes die or they just stop working, you're going to have a very sick goat very quickly. If you don't catch it soon enough, the goat can pass away. So you definitely want to stay on top of rumen health. You want to be able to evaluate whether the rumen is acting appropriately. So you want to pay attention to the goat themselves. Are they chewing their cud? Notice she keeps chewing. She's not eating anything. She's chewing her cud. So random chewing. That's a turkey. Hi, buddy. Hi, bud. That's Turk the turkey. Yes, he's outside now. Turk the turkey hanging out doing turkey things. Arwen just fell over. Anyway, so the things you want to note are the chewing of the cud. If your goat is chewing their cud, the rumen's probably functioning normally. Is it making noises? About every 45, there's a chicken. But about every 45 to 60 seconds, depending on when they last ate, so it might be more often or less often, but you should hear rumbling from the rumen. Now, you can use a stethoscope to hear if you can't hear it normally. Arwen's we can normally hear. She's got a pretty loud rumen. But if you can't hear it, get yourself a stethoscope. You'll be able to hear those sounds. Start to recognize what your goat's rumen sounds like, because you'll then be able to recognize when the rumen is not functioning properly by its sound. Okay, so just kind of get a feel for the sounds that a goat's rumen makes. Also, kind of learn what your goat typically looks like. How bulgy she is. How much does that left side bulge? You're chasing a bug. Yeah, you're chasing a bug. Yeah, you're chasing a bug. So you kind of just want to get a feel for your goat so you'll recognize when something is off, if they're way more bloated than they normally are after they eat, or if they're less bloated than you would expect, whatever. Whatever it is, you definitely want to kind of become aware of how your goat functions. So remember that goats eat a lot and they eat it quickly. Then they kind of wander off and they kind of lay down and they chew their cud. What they're doing when they're chewing the cud is they're actually burping up material from the rumen. They're chewing it again, they're swallowing it again, and then they do that again and again and again until they have managed to make it small enough and digested enough for it to pass into the reticulum. The reticulum is where the nutrients are starting to absorb. Then it can move into the omasum, where it decreases in size and most of the fluid is removed. Then it can finally get to the abomasum, where the final stages of digestion occur. So that four-chambered stomach that we talk about, it's not really a stomach. It's just a four-chambered digestive tract, and it's really important for a goat's health. So start to pay attention to your goat. Understand when the rumen might be kind of out of whack, and don't hesitate to call a vet. When the rumen goes bad, things go bad with your goats very, very quickly. Thank you, Sauron. Anyway, that is about it for today here at Andersen Acres. We will come back next week and start talking about what you actually should feed your goat. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow.